Do you have any systems in place that allow you to be a present dad, but also deal with the grueling demands of being an entrepreneur? And this is from Rob.
I don't need systems to be a present dad and be a good dad. I just need to be a good dad and be a present dad. I need systems in place for my business not to break. I need systems in place that things don't fall through the cracks. So the system I have in place is we are live. Happy Monday. Hi, Megan.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Megan gave me some good news. She got a dog, a golden doodle that she's going to learn a lot about responsibility by handling because she's now going to be in full control. I don't think she realizes just how much work she's going to have to do, but
I have a toddler. I can handle this.
Yeah.
I can handle it.
Now you have two children. So
a little bit.
Now you have two children. But still under 3, which is good for you. But now outnumbered too, because I'm gonna be outnumbered. It's crazy. Good things.
Roll with it.
Gotta roll with it. I mean, how hard can it be, right? We run businesses, we deal with clients. Like, it can't be much harder.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure that everything is set up and that we can go. Let's get this little fancy banner going. And I think we are ready to jump into it.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this is a long one. This one is from Brandon. All right. Brandon says, I have a lot of clients that message me during off office hour times. I want to always deliver a great service, but sometimes it cuts into family time and scope creeping. So how do you communicate your availability / boundaries to your clients and also your family so that you can also have like work time?
I love this question. I love this question because I think it's so relatable, and I think so many people have the same exact thought. I know we're getting better at it, and something that I'm truly learning to become better at. It's hard when you're starting off, right? When you're starting off, you kind of want to make sure that you wow the client at all times, and you're always there. Whenever they need you, you're going to be there for them. It's 10 p.m. You're out with your spouse, and all of a sudden you get a message from the client. There's 2 things that go on through your mind. Is number 1 is you start going, oh no, what happened? What's going on? Am I going to be fired? Am I going to lose this client? Number 2 is you sit there and say, if I don't respond, are they going to keep getting mad? Are they going to be mad that I didn't respond? They're paying me. I should probably respond. Let's go above and beyond and do those things. But I think for the most part, and this is going to sound a little strange, but we train our clients on how to act. And what I mean by that is when you do respond to those things, guess what? They now know that that's okay. Versus out of the gate, if you didn't respond, you responded in the morning and said, hey, so sorry, I was out last night, but back in the office right now and back in front of my computer, I could better answer your question here. Unless it's like an emergency. And I've rarely seen emergencies. Like we had maybe one in the last maybe year and a bit, and that's when Facebook was spending our clients' money and results were bad, and we just had to like pause everything and we had to let them know, right? So that was on a Sunday where the team and I got together and we had to just let the clients know what was going on. But even then we had it handled, right? So we just wanted to overly communicate with the client so that they don't come back to us a little bit upset. So, part of it is, you train on how they can on how to handle things. I think we've gotten better in the sense of we put systems in place. So one is, you can't email us anymore. Everything's done through Slack. You can't text. Everything's done through Slack because the team's all inside there. So you messaging me, messaging Megan, but Megan's not, Megan's not the one able to answer that question. It's the media buyer that's able to answer that question. We put them all in one central place for a reason. So I think that's helped. But I think, like I said, you go back, you train your clients on how they should act. And if you don't respond at 10 p.m., they'll stop messaging you at 10 p.m. And if we all want to over deliver, but the problem with that is when it goes out of scope. So scope creep is like when clients pay for one thing and they slowly start asking for a little bit more. So they pay for, a website to be built. And then they start asking for copy. And then they start asking for, can you help with graphics a little bit? And you don't want to lose it. You want to over deliver, but then it's your time, and people don't factor that in when they charge people money, the time that goes into things, and they actually end up losing money on a project because they try to give too much. So I do believe in over delivering, but I think for the main part, clients pay for results. So you prevent scope creep by being very clear about the boundaries. So we have our Slack rules that go into it. We have a lot of different things now when we sign up clients that are very clear what our boundaries are, and we maintain it. And some of our older clients, they get a little bit more leeway, a little longer leash, I should say, for lack of better terms, because they've just been around longer, and it's hard to just come in and just be like, hey, we're cutting all these services to you that we've been doing for so long. But the best way to do it is just be very clear and protective of your time. And if clients overreach and you feel that's the case, then they're just not the right client. And bad clients will kill your business so fast. So just make sure you take on the right clients, make sure you set those boundaries. And if they're not following them, it's usually because you are giving in at some point and not showing them that it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. All right. Do you have any systems in place that allow you to be a present dad, but also deal with the grueling demands of being an entrepreneur? And this is from Rob.
I don't need systems to be a present dad and be a good dad. I just need to be a good dad and be a present dad. I need systems in place for my business not to break. I need systems in place that things don't fall through the cracks. So the system I have in place is if there's a birthday party or something like that, it goes on a calendar. That's the extent. So I don't miss things. Or if Ryan or Chloe has ballet or baseball, it's on the calendar, so I know it's there. And then everything else for my life gets organized around that. Megan sees my calendar. She sees Ryan has baseball. She knows she's not scheduling an appointment 20 minutes before Ryan's baseball game, right? So everything goes around that. For me, it's family first. And this is the way I design my life. Everyone could design their life the way they want. I don't judge. I prefer to work with people who understand the value, because I think family is super, super important. But it's family first. So everything gets placed that way. That's the number one focus. And then everything in my life gets planned around that. So yes, are there moments where I need to sacrifice something and I need to be out of town, or I need to go away for work? 100%. Life's not a 50-50 split. Life's not perfect. I'm going to miss some moments. It's going to suck. But for the most part, I won't miss big moments. I won't miss as many as I would have missed before I had kids. But no, I don't have any systems in place that make me a present dad. And dealing with the grueling task of being an entrepreneur, and you find that there's no balance, I'd question what you're doing, and are you building the business the way you actually really want to build the business? Because I don't think you need to sacrifice being a good dad. I don't think you need to sacrifice being a present parent. I don't think you need to give those things up. Now, do you have to make tiny sacrifices along the way? Yes, but you built the business. If you're an entrepreneur, you're building a business for you, so you could have the life you want. I don't believe in sacrificing everything in order to have it later on down the road. That makes zero sense to me. I prefer to enjoy little things along the way, if possible, and build a business that gives me that. and it's totally 1000% doable. And anyone who tells you it's not, you're following the wrong people, you're listening to the wrong voices. I know people who spend tons of time with their family, and that's what they do, and they make millions of dollars a year. So no, I mean, you're looking for a cheat code, and there's no cheat code. You have to prioritize it. You have to want to do those things. You have to want to be a good dad and a present dad, and you're going to have to want to build a business, and you're going to have to figure out that, guess what? You have energy and time to dispense into both those things. And I'd audit your time, because if you're telling me you're so busy that you can't be a present dad, then I would look at where you're spending your time, because no one's that busy. And if you're busy, you have to start learning how to say no to things, and you have to learn how to add things by subtracting other things. And rant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think once you have, on the business side, once you get really solid systems in place and that can kind of free up so that you can be more personal or more available on the
For sure. Look, go hire a Megan to come in and clean up your time. Go do that. Look, I think the first hire for any business is on the administrative side, is administrative assistant. 1000%, because you're doing, as a business owner, jobs that you shouldn't be doing, or jobs that don't move the needle forward as much as you think. So, having Megan's been lifesaver. She takes care of all the things that allow me to focus on big picture things. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to call that a system, sure.
I'll take it.
Megan's my system. You want a system? It's Megan.
All right. Okay. So this one is from Katie. What is your least favorite thing about being a parent, all while being a successful entrepreneur?
Least favorite thing about being a parent?
While being a successful entrepreneur. So.
Nothing. I think it'd be lonely to be a successful entrepreneur without them. I think I could have just so many more moments, and be around them. I think the only downside would be, like, my wife and I would travel more together, and whatnot. But I mean, I don't have a least favorite thing about being a parent and an entrepreneur. I built my business to be a parent and to have kids. I built it for that reason. So for me to not like a certain part of it, I wouldn't have done it. So no, I think the question, I think maybe the question would have been, I don't like that question. Sorry, Katie.
Sorry, Katie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't even know. I think the better question, or a better version of the question, would be like, what's your least favorite part of being an entrepreneur while having kids?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But that goes back into the sacrifice and things. I think yeah, nothing. I love my kids. I love being around them. You could ask me when they're teenagers, I may think a bit differently, but right now they're young, sweet, and innocent, and I want to have as many moments with them as possible. So the beauty about being a successful entrepreneur and having them is that we get to do a lot of different things together, and that's my focus. My focus right now is entirely built on creating memories with my children. 1000% focused on that.
Okay, love it. Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's time for my question of the week. This is kind of parent related. Okay, so we've
been on this theme for a couple of weeks, eh? Parents. It's like I should get out of like helping people grow their businesses and just become perfectly parented. We'll switch the podcast from perfectly mentored to perfectly parented.
That's perfect. Yeah, perfectly parented. Okay. That's what we'll call it this week anyways. Okay, so what are some ways that you teach your kids to understand the value of hard work and pursuing their passions?
Hard for me right now because they're, Ryan's gonna be 5 probably by the time this episode comes out, or pretty close to being 5. And Chloe's 3. So hard work is
That's a tough one.
it's a tough one, and pursuing their dreams. I mean, every day one wants to be something different. So Ryan wants to be an engineer one day, and then an astronaut the next day, and then a baseball player, then the other. Like it switches in the moment. One day he wants to be a member of the Paw Patrol, and then he wants to be a member of the Avengers. So I mean, right now it's just you can do anything you want. That's the plan. That's the attitude I teach him. Very little life lessons go in right now, aside from I get very upset, and my wife catches on to this. I get very upset when they say can't. Like, I can't do this. Like, and they get frustrated because they're kids and they said they can't do something, or like their initial response is, "Can you help me?" Can't. And in the past, it would always be, "Okay, let me do it," because I like being depended on and I like being around for them. But I don't like the word can't. So that's like our big focus inside the house. So from a life lesson side of things, that's where we spend a lot of our time on is, or I do, is if Ryan says, "Hey, I can't do this," I correct him right away. And I say, "You just don't know how. So let me just show you. Don't say you can't." Or then he'll try something on his own and he'll do it. And I'm like, "So what did you learn from that?" And he's like, "Well, I don't say can't." So he gets it. Chloe, she's 3. So when she does something, I try to show her, and then she'll do it on her own because she's Miss Independent. She's 3 going on 17. So she'll just want me to show her the way, and then I'll do it. And then like a second, she's like, "Open up this." I can't. So I'm like, she literally can't. Like it's a different thing. So I'm like, it's not that you can't, you just don't know how, and you need daddy, right? So come. And so a second I start like opening the bottle for it, if I make like one, give it to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And I love that. And I love it. And I try to foster it. And then I'll look at her and be like, I'm like, "We don't say." She goes, "Can't." I'm like, perfect. So I just try to eliminate that from their vocabulary. Whether they can or cannot actually do it is a different story, but I just don't want them to say, "I can't do it. I don't know how. I need some help. Can you please help me with this?" Just anything but the word can't. And so I think hard work, I mean, I'm not even so sure hard work is the game changer in success anyways. So for me to like start preaching that now, my wife is a big, she comes from the school system. She loves education. She's a professional. So we differ on that. We butt heads a little bit on that because I don't really see the importance of it. So that's always interesting dynamics. But I'm also, is hard work even like the difference maker? I don't know. I think that would be a topic for a different podcast, so I don't get in trouble. I'll have to think that thought through a little bit before I get yelled at. But I just try to teach my kids important stuff right now. They're little, so can't, positive attitude around things. Being okay losing at certain things, and having a lesson with that you could be a good loser, but want to be competitor and win. So like when Ryan cries because he loses, that's something, part of me is like, I love it because he's not okay being a loser, versus "Hey daddy, I lost," but I had fun. And I'm like, "No, you lost." So he's obviously not a kid being loser, so that makes me happy. But he has to learn that he can't win all the time, and he won't win all the time. And how do we build off those things? Very hard. parenting's not easy. I'll tell you that much. And you know this, and anyone listening, who just listened to what are we on? Almost 20 minutes of me trying to give parenting advice for this whole episode instead of business advice. I'd say take everything I just said with a grain of salt and go do you. I'm just giving you my outlook on things. We're all trying to do the best we can. I think any parent who judges any other parent is ridiculously stupid. It's really, really like, just come on. Like, everyone has a different approach to doing things. May not be my approach. I may in private mock them and be like, that was awful parenting. I would never do that. But I think for the most part, everyone's just trying to do the best they can. So, I mean, life lessons like coaching, they're 5 and 3. Let them just have fun, enjoy their time. And when's the right time to jump in? I don't know. Right. Like, I hope it's early enough. I hope it's not too early. I hope I don't ruin them. I hope I do the best I can. But yeah, that's really it.
Yeah. It's not, I can't, it's just, you might need a little help. I think that's a great age appropriate lesson.
And I'm consciously on that. What's on my mind is like that I really try to focus on is that they watch me. Is they watch me. So I remember a lot that my father, I remember most of what my father has done, like little actions, than I remember of, the things that he told me or the things that he said. So I think if we live our lives for our kids as good role models, it goes back to that training your clients on how to behave, right? So, like, especially on the coaching side, take the agency side of things. If I teach them, this is how business owners are supposed to behave, this is how you have respect for your time, this is how you do all those things, by living that life, then they're going to learn off of that and they're going to act that way. Right? Like, you and I've had conversations about some of the coaches or mentors I've had, where it's like, literally, we have 15 minutes call on the book and they're like, okay, it's 15 minutes. We all good? And then they literally jump off the call, and I'm sitting there turning 15-minute calls into 35-minute calls with clients. Something I need to get better at. But I watch that and I'm not insulted by it. I'm like, wow, that's how I'm supposed to behave too. So I come back to it from that side of things. So I think if I live life that way for my kids, and I just try to be a good example for them, and they watch me, then that's kind of the best I could do right now, and when they're older, we could kind of have some more questions.
Maybe at this age it's more like the actions speak louder than words kind of thing.
I want them to see this. And part of why I started working out again was I want my kids to see that that's important. I want them to see like, oh, daddy's going to the gym, or daddy's going to work, or daddy's going here. I want them to see those things because they're old enough to watch what I'm doing.
Right.
Daddy's fat and out of shape and lying on the couch all day. Right? Like,
they see that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, there was a book when we first had Ryan. It was like Peppa Pig book. It was like my daddy. And like, I realized Peppa Pig's a bitch. like Peppa Pig is like, inside the book, she's like saying, I love my daddy, and my daddy likes to keep keep in shape, but his favorite shape is round, or like whatever it is. And it's like, my daddy's favorite exercise is lifting the remote control. I'm like, what?
Oh, really?
I'm like, wow, you are like Peppa Pig. Read Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig is not a nice kid. Like, I would not want Peppa Pig as a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my wife bought that book and I'm reading it. She goes, look, it's all about daddy. I'm like, yeah, daddy's lazy, clumsy, fat,
couch
like,
potato.
it's crazy. Yeah.
You need to switch over to Bluey. You know the show Bluey?
I love Bluey. I love Bluey.
Their activities, active lifestyle.
But the problem with Bluey is like Ryan's like past that age now. So he's like, he like watched a few episodes, and Chloe, although she's at that age, she just wants to watch whatever Ryan watches. Oh, and Chloe loves watching random like it's weird. She watches YouTube videos, but they're singing and dancing, but they're like
Yeah.
weirdos.
Yeah, there's
There's
some
like
weird
there's weird people
YouTube
like
shows
dancing and
out there.
singing, and I'm like, what is she watching? But she loves it.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
be careful what they're clicking on though. But yeah.
Yeah, some of those YouTube shows are just kind of strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all of our questions for this week.
Cool. Check the comments. Let's see if there's anything in the comments so far.
Yeah.
I got a couple of stuff in the comments. Let me look at these. Dan says, when they are that young, they're just sponges. The life lessons come from what they see you do exactly and hear you say. Yeah, totally agree. The feelings and emotions that you express are the ones that will impress the most of them on them. You'll see a mirror image of the way you are right now in 10 years when they reflect and absorb early on from you and your wife. That is scary. Don't mirror me. Now that's gonna make me question everything I do. I don't want a mirror image of me. I want them to be themselves. But yes, I totally agree with you. Jordan Turner says, Jason Portnoy, how do you show your clients behavior and not just tell them what they should do? P.S. You are as handsome as ever. I know Jordan, so thank you, Jordan. How do you show by acting? By like just you actually literally show them. I don't tell them what they should do. I don't tell them you should message me at 9 a.m. You should message me during office hours. I literally just won't respond. I won't respond, and then I'll respond in the morning, and then I'll respond something like, I used to respond saying, hey, now that I'm back in the office, I can answer your question. But then I found that was like, I don't need to make an excuse of why I didn't answer your question. I'll answer your question when I answer it and when I'm back. And when we get to it, and if it's not an emergency, that's how we do things. I think clients think that because they pay you, they get to own you. And I think there's a relationship that goes on that has to be both sides. I need to teach them, and my team needs to teach them on respect on how to handle certain things. And at the same time, we don't get paid. Like, I don't get paid for the hour, right? We don't get paid for hours. I get paid for results. So you hired me to get you results. So you're going to have to trust that my way is the right way to get you those results. And if you don't, I'm the wrong hire, right? You shouldn't have hired us. So it's just my actions on what I do. And we tend to be very clear about that from the start. So like Slack, it's like we respond 9 to 5. This is in all of our agreements, right? So you sign this, and now we're going to start making people initial next to that part, like, so that you clearly get it. We respond only in Slack from 9 to 5 Eastern time. And if it's not an emergency, we'll respond within 24 hours. Right? Like, obviously we're quick at responding, but you hired us to get your results. So our results should not be inside Slack. Now, if there's an emergency, you can handle us. And the truth is, once we did that, they actually started needing less from us. You remember when we were dealing with email only with clients, and they would email,
that was
like,
terrible.
They would send like 75 emails, and it would be like crazy, and it would get lost, and we'd respond, and then they'd send another email saying, how come we didn't respond? And we're like, we did. Here's the response. Oh, I lost that. You put them in Slack and you give them 24/7 access to you, they don't have any more questions. So we never tell them, aside from at the start, like we set the boundaries like from the start, but most of it's dictated by our actions.
Right. Exactly. Love Slack. Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. Yeah. And we need to get better at it, right? I think there's always room for improvement. And I think there's a learning lesson in there, because I hope they watch how I respond or how my team responds to things, and then they go and bring it back to their team, or they start having respect for their time and start managing their time with their clients a little bit better. So, I'm always finding ways to optimize myself, my team, and my energy, my time, my business. I'm always finding that. And I've invested hundreds of $1,000s into this education, trying to get better. they'd be smart if they just got that for free from me as a bonus to what we're already doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
All righty.
Cool. Well, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments and we'll get to them next week. Head on over to jportnoy.com if you want to work with us, which I think you should, because we just already showed you that we have a great team, and we'll teach you how to have respect for your time and the boundaries. And you get to hang out with people like Megan. So yeah, and she has a cute dog now, so we're good. Anyways, happy Monday, everyone, or whenever you're listening to this. I appreciate you. Thanks for your attention. Megan, as always, thank you.
All right. Next week. Bye.